My name's Dee and welcome to Untitled Tarot and welcome to your admittedly late general reading for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, whatever area chart you're looking at. Now, as a general reading rules apply as ever, so timing is far from absolute, especially halfway through the month. If someone else appears in the reading, I can get you and them mixed up. Apparently I see energies and actions. I normally point it out when I think I'm not sure whether it's you or it's them. But as ever, I'm not reading for every Capricorn on the planet. There is a past and a present in this spread. So if the past and the present don't fit, don't try and make it fit. Go and watch your moon, go and watch your rising. In fact, always go and watch your rising. And if you don't know what your rising is, there is, as ever, a link in the description so you can get yourself a birth chart. You need your time of birth as well as date and place. So, as I say, past and present in this spread. So what I would like you to do, whereas this is different from a lot of YouTube readings of say, take what resonates, leave the rest. Nah, it's a job lot. It either is for you or it isn't. But do let me know if it is, because it's always good to know when these readings hit home. But what I'd like you to do is ask a question. Think about all of the questions that are around you. Focus on one of them, but be aware of all of them, because the cards do not have the same sense of priority that you and I do and will answer what they please. But as I say, focus on one of them. It helps give energy to the process. I think that's everything. Oh yeah, final thing. There is a link in the description for the Facebook page for this channel, where obviously I post these videos. I like to post some of the astrology weather report style videos that I watch, so it's not just me. I try and make it a little bit of a one-stop shop. But more importantly, it's got an inbox. So if you want to contact me for a personal reading, that's the best way to do it. If you're watching this on Tumblr, come and join the YouTube and subscribe. I rarely post on Instagram, so but there's a link tree down there. It will tell you my Twitter, it will tell you my email, but for readings, contact me through the Facebook mainly, because I'm more likely to find the message there. Okay, so ask your question. 2 minutes 25, even better with my waffle now. I think I've remembered everything. Oh, one final thing. I recently did a show with a very old friend of mine who's a medium. So we used to run a tarot tour together. It's called Interview with a Medium, Book 1. The joke will come apparent as you watch the video. But yeah, look it out. So you may want, if you want someone to pass messages from beyond, you may want to see Claire. Right, so I assume you've asked your question by now. This is your last chance. Pause if you can, and then I will bring up the cards. So Capricorn, the main thing that I see, I mean, it really jumps out at me. You are creating something at the moment. You are having to discipline yourself to create something. You've got this new idea, and I think you're feeling it's a bit all or nothing. But the discipline is required from you right now, because I'm not saying it's a new idea, but it's maybe a new iteration of an idea. It's almost, I get the feeling as if you've been going, right, I've set everything up, now's the time. And so that you've started, and then it's like, oh, I was wanting fairly instant results from this. Yeah, and that's not going to happen. But you are going to be getting results. But going from the bottom of the deck, we have Queen of Swords, Page of Coins, Three of Stones. So on basic readings, Queen of Swords, something that you maybe need to cut out. But what I really got from this card was not necessarily that sense of cutting something out. It's that sense of discipline, which you can interpret as cutting something out, because if you're on a diet, your discipline is that you cut out cake. So if you are trying to do one thing, you cut out doing the other things that you would normally do that would fill your time, whether it's sat watching football, playing the PlayStation, or just reading books or what have you. It's like, no, I've got to, not that I'm dissing reading books, we should all read, but Sometimes reading can be more appealing than doing, and sometimes doing is more important than reading. This is one of those times where doing is more important than reading. You are being called to level up, but you are being called to level up through your actions. And it's funny that I'm getting this thing about reading, because I think that you have done a lot of the reading that you needed to do, because there is that sense of action now rather than research, rather than planning. No, it's doing the plans. Three of Stones promises recognition, but it also indicates that with this one off the Wildwood Tarot, it also indicates there isn't a great deal of freedom of movement to start off with, because we have right in the present moment, defining what is obvious to you, we have the Hanged Man, which Queen of Swords again. So there's that discipline of putting things into practice, putting things into existence, putting things into the solid 3D world, as cold as that feels, because it's very ice driven, this particular King of Stones in the Wildwood Tarot. And there is that sense of coldness. There is that sense of where you've just come from having this great idea. Like I say, I don't think it's a new idea. I think it's a reinterpretation, a reboot, a new iteration of, or this sense of finally I can do it. But you faced a bit of stress, bit of opposition, bit of hassle, but mainly stress. I'm going to say mainly the whole stress and nightmares, but these are stresses. I don't know. This is the Nine of Swords. And as you know, Nine of Swords, stress, anxiety, nightmares. But look at the swordswoman. Yep, the swordswoman that is fighting the other seven swords. There's a look of glee and joy on her face of, yeah, I can put these to rest. It's about time I put these to rest. I want this challenge. I want to do this. And this is where you are. And it promised a great deal of happiness doing it. And then all of a sudden, you're in this cold phase. You know, it's all feeling very much everything by rote, everything by, like you're colouring by numbers. And I want to say, that's fine. That really is fine. Of course you're colouring by numbers right now, because you want to make sure that every part of this plan that you have already worked out is being taken forward, that you don't want to miss a bit. Again, Queen of Swords here, Queen of Swords here, that sense of discipline. Now, just to back this up, we have from the Offset Oracle, Num, the creator god, ram-headed creator god who creates humans and planets and gods, and is saying that this is a powerful time. It's also saying that this is a powerful time for you to become the god that you know you are, or that he knows you are, because that's why we were all made. We were all made, in Num's eyes, to become gods. So it's a very ritual magic, a very ritual magician way of looking at it as well, where the ritual magician, certainly in, say, the Order of the Golden Dawn style, a Waite style magic, will put themselves in the position of God. And the ritual magician is there to say, I am God. Of course you are. So am I. You are as well. You know, that's a very useful headset, but mindset, sorry. But it's a very useful in specific circumstances. Obviously, humility is useful in other circumstances. You know, it's horses for courses. But Num is saying this is your time for creating the circumstances to come into godhood. And that's what that page of Pentacles, Page of Coins is saying, because the Page of Coins for me is very much the level up card. You know, first level complete, start level 2. We have Gvura, the left hand of the Tree of Life, representing judgment. Again, there's that sense of discernment and discipline. And while we're on the matter of discernment, the angel of discernment. And also there's a sense of having to keep control over the process, which again explains the colouring by numbers feeling. Mikhail representing astrologically political authority. So you are taking charge of this process that you are creating because it's coming out of your own dreams. Now, if you haven't already started a project, obviously this month is time to start. If you don't know what this project is, then this reading's not for you. This is for someone who knows what their project is. But I would say that you've already started now, and you're in two minds, because there's this sense of balancing we have on the top of how you feel, the Temperance card, which also indicates a certain amount of divine inspiration, divine protection, you know, the angels watching over you, or I think here it's Isis watching over a funerary craftsman. But with that, you have the universe, the world card, and the burned oak, which is the Tower card. You are deliberately trying to shatter something for the rewards that it brings, for the development that it brings, for the authority that it brings as well. I cannot escape the fact that although that's the moon in the back, this is, I'd have to look up in the little booklet to see if it's a specific god, because it's not, I wouldn't say it was Chang'e, because there's no rabbits, but that moon also looks like a halo. She stood on, oh no, she stood on, I always thought she stood on a cliff. She stood on some form of flower, which is indicating that divine stance. There is that sense of authority with this. And then the blasted oak. So there is something that you have to get rid of. There is something that you have to destroy, or allow to shatter, or allow to fall, or you are deliberately shattering and making it fall by you pursuing whatever it is that you are after. And you've got opposition. You know, so there are people who object to how you are planning on going ahead, which is probably where this stress and anxiety was coming from here as well. But like I said, that gave me that real feeling of bring it on, come on. We have 5 of Swords, 7 of Cups, 7 of Bows. So other people are defensive. Then with the 5 of Swords here, they are not seeing you as their peer. They are more concerned about what you are doing. Now, that's obviously not going to mean everybody in your life, but you know, those factors are there, and there seems to be advice of, is there not another way you can do it? Could you not try a different fashion? No, stick with your plan, because that's what all these Queen of Swords are saying. Stick with the plan, because you've had a strategy on building up to this when you was planning to take over the world, and you made the choice that you were going to go ahead with this, and you knew that somebody would be upset or even made worse off by what it is that you are trying to do. But I do feel that whatever you are trying to do is more for the greater good. So if there is somebody who's made worse off, they were either not working for the greater good or it'll sort. So again, not something I think you need to take into consideration a great way. Which is very mean of me, I know, but no, stuff them. You know, if they were in your way and what they were doing was not for the greater good, then, oh well, you know, there's their choice. because I do feel really positive about what you are trying to accomplish. And there is this sense of King of Swords here. So matching with the bottom of the deck, there is this progression. One, there's a progression from Queen to King, looking at it in a playing card level, that is coming up. That discipline creates that So it's not like a queen is less powerful than a king, but I'm just thinking in points of numerical value of playing cards. You know, there is an advancement from queen to king, which says more about our society than it does about the roles of queen and king, I have to say. But there is that step up, but there's also this sense of partnership coming. Now, this partnership seems to be more with yourself. By doing the colouring with numbers, you will get that that forward motion that you are after. Stick with chasing that forward motion. We've got the desert card here, sacred archetypal element of fire from the Anubis Oracle. And with Nephthys, who's pretty much representing the High Priestess. Well, it even says the High Priestess at the bottom. I feel that you felt, you don't feel now that you're doing it, because like I said, it's also very cold, but you felt that this was the right time to start, and you were right. And the reason that there isn't that sense of intuition or guidance or spiritual support or even support from other people around you at the moment is, no, you're being left to get on with exactly what you've left to get on with. You don't need any more guidance. You don't need any more support from others. This is your turn. This is your bit. This is the bit that you're doing. And you will get the benefits from it. Look here, we've got the Ace of Wands and the Sun. So forward motion and happy, happy, joy, joy. Things are going to start moving soon enough. And I think oh yes, couldn't get better than this. 10 of Swords. Firstly, transformation. The end of torment, but a sense of transformation. There's a wonderful sense of power with this 10 of Swords. There's an old, a more elderly gentleman who is way too old to be happy with going around dealing with 10 swords, who is lifting these swords through the air by the very force of his will. He knows his stuff. And this is partnered with the Ace of Wands and the Wanderer, which is the Fool card. So, new beginning. This is the new beginning that you've been working towards, waiting for. This is why you're doing the colour by numbers bit at the moment, because you are getting to that new beginning. Ace of Wands shows forward progress, and underlying that, you're going to start enjoying it. That warmth is coming back. Sacred element of fire, and the Sun card here. Sorry, brain went blank for a second there. This is clarified with the Two of Arrows and the Page of Staves. So it's almost like especially with this being the Justice card underneath, by doing what you are doing, you will find some form of injustice that your efforts already are addressing, if this makes sense. By carrying out your plan, you find out, hang on a minute, that's going on, and that's wrong. But your plan in and of itself is already dealing with the whatever that is going on is. So it gives you the tools to tackle that in a very caring and nurturing way, in a way that will create change. Ace of Arrows, where it's very, very clear what you are doing, and it has material, caring, nurturing aspects. Queen of Coins here. So let's have a look in the past. So in the past, you had a new beginning where you was just constantly trying to balance everything. And there was just so much debate going around on a topic where I felt that you just went, yeah, I'm not sure that all of these offers mean anything whatsoever. I'm committing to working on my own development here. And you withdrew from people. You withdrew from whether it's a job or a social circumstance, or maybe backed away from your family for a couple of years. Nothing permanent here. I'm not saying that you are drawing away from people because of people. Well, I am a bit, but only a little bit. I'm more saying that you were drawing away from people because you just had more other things to do for yourself, which was the working out and doing the research, doing the learning for pulling this plan together, where you were finding that you were preparing, and that you were double checking your reasons for why you are doing it. We have the ancestor card here, which equates to the Hierophant. But it's almost like, I want to do things for the right reasons. I want to be doing these things for connecting with, because the dreams that you've been presented with by others previously, when you really got down into it, it's like, yeah, but why? And when you had the whys, you're just like, it's not a good enough reason. It doesn't float my boat. I can't see the reason why I should invest in this time, which sent you into this researching, planning, working out phase, which you are now seeing mature by being in that colour by numbers aspect. So let's have a look at a potential future. That's what these two piles represent, or it could be two potential futures. See how the piles go. Don't be distracted by fake offers of assistance or someone coming up saying, yeah, go for it, or, oh, I love you, because Knight of Cups can be a romantic offer. But here, with Page of Swords, Seven of Arrows, whatever this offer is, to use a phrase my mother used to use frequently, all mouth and no trousers. You know, there's it just, there's an invitation for you to rely on somebody else here, and I think that that would be an error. If you're doing fine with what you are doing and you don't need any help from anybody else, then you don't need any help from anybody else, because it may be slower progress on your own. Ooh, now this is interesting. And these are far worse cards, but feel far more positive. Knight of Pentacles, there's that slower progress on your own. With the Tower, but rather than the Tower here be representing your circumstance, I'm rather seeing you in the gods that are giving that Tower the lightning bolt and making it collapse and shatter. You're finally destroying that which you need to or want to. And that is by relying on yourself and being slippery enough to follow your own dreams and not the dreams of somebody else who wants to go, oh, that's a good idea, let me come and help. But bear in mind that when this offer comes, you've already been going on this a while. Okay, so if someone's offering to come along and share the responsibility with you, no, this is your responsibility. You chose this. You are to become a god with this. Oh, there's so many things I could call this reading, isn't there? Time to become a god. This is your thing, your baby. Now, you're wondering, are you going to be able to manifest at any great speed, or are you just going to be left alone with your efforts? You're not going to be left alone with your efforts as in the results of your efforts, which means they are going to get recognized and they are going to be appreciated and they are going to be used in a good way. However, yes, you are going to be left alone with doing it if you allow yourself to be. And that, again, is that Queen of Swords things going on. So the way that this offer come into, oh, I'll help. No, they're useless. Don't let them help. They will just, no, it will just cause problems. I mean, obviously, don't let a tarot reader tell you what to do. But, this is what I'm seeing here. If you know that you can control it all, that sounds bad, doesn't it? But if you know that you can control every aspect of this plan that you're doing, and just the fact that you're doing it on your own means it's going to happen a bit slower, that's fine. It's happening slower is better than someone else coming in, trying to take the load, helping, failing, messing it all up, and nothing happens. So happening slower is better than nothing happening at all. Because you are going to be getting... Oh, I like this. So it's the moon, but I'm really drawn to the full moon and the fact that there is that bull there against the moon. So I don't care about the running water in that river. It's like that bull is safe and he's got where he wanted to be. And obviously the bull, you can link that with Zeus, Jupiter. You can link it with Taurus, I know, but it's not a Taurus reading. I'm more thinking about linking it with Zeus and the other bull-based deities that pretty much were examples of power and authority within their own particular mythologies. With the Queen of Cups, Queen of Chalices with this one, which almost like you are offering this dream, this plan of yours to the world and to the divine and saying, look, here you are. This is what I've created. Come and share. And that is sharing the bounty, not in the work. That work is yours, and so it should be, because you'll be proud of yourself. And with the Knight of Staves here, Knight of Wands, wonderful sense of going forward. But going forward, again, it's more elderly gentleman. So I'm feeling like you're going forward in a measured and productive fashion, if that makes sense. So there is that forward motion, but it's not so fast that you can't keep track of it all. Now, backing this up, we also have, from the Queen of the Moon Oracle, the growth card. So what you are setting your mind to now will grow. And Anna, grandmother of Jesus, from the Work Your Light Oracle, seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. Your divine plan. So, this is also the Eternal Servitor card. I haven't dealt with this one. This is very much you looking for and hopefully achieving that missing part of yourself, which is a metaphor. But you are coming into being who you want to be. There's an interesting thing that it says in the book about this one. In fact, I'll read it out. The Eternal Servitor reminds us that we are ourselves eternally incomplete, and we must manage our desires and shape them to what we want to be, lest they consume us and become all that we are. So whatever desire it was that led on to this plan, the desire is becoming more and more irrelevant, because it is the plan that is important, and it is the end result of that plan. And like I say, slower progress than you'd hope, but it's going to happen. It's going to get there. That is a beautiful reading, Capricorn. I have got no idea what to call it now. I don't think I'm going to call it Become a God. Well, declare your godhood. Declare your mastery, declare your power. I'll think of something. You've already seen what I've called it. It's down there. Right, so I will see you towards the full moon, and go and watch your rising sign. Cheers.